What if the freedom you crave is locked behind the very walls you've built around yourself? Every day, we wake up to a world that promises liberation, yet so many of us feel trapped, not by external forces, but by an invisible prison within. This isn't a prison of bars and stone, but one woven from old fears, unacknowledged wounds, and the echoes of other people's expectations. We spend our lives chasing external validation, believing that if we can just be loved enough, recognized enough, or achieve enough, then true freedom will finally be ours. But this pursuit often leads to a deeper sense of emptiness. We might achieve great things, build beautiful relationships, or accumulate impressive possessions, yet that nagging feeling persists. Something fundamental is missing. This feeling, this deep-seated unease, is the first whisper of a truth no one talks about. The truth about choosing yourself. It's the realization that until you turn inward, until you confront the architect of your own inner confinement, no external success will ever truly set you free. This journey begins not with grand gestures, but with a simple, profound question. What am I truly afraid of discovering within myself? True freedom begins with acknowledging the internal barriers we've unknowingly created. No one will love you until you understand this. The love you chase outside is the love you've denied within. We are wired for connection, for belonging. From our earliest moments, we learn to seek love and acceptance from those around us. But what happens when that natural instinct becomes a desperate plea? We begin to mirror the desires of others, to contort ourselves into shapes we believe will be more palatable, more lovable. We become chameleons, changing our colors to blend into every new environment, losing sight of our original hue. This isn't a conscious choice. It's a deep-seated survival mechanism, born from a primal fear of abandonment. We learn to ignore our own whispers, to silence our authentic voice, all in the pursuit of an echo, the echo of someone else's approval. This constant external focus leaves us feeling hollow, like an empty vessel perpetually seeking to be filled by others. The painful truth is, the love we endlessly chase in others is merely a reflection, or rather, a missed reflection, of the love we are capable of giving ourselves. Until we recognize this, we will forever be chasing a mirage. External validation is a reflection, not a source, of self-worth. Your shadow isn't evil. It's everything you haven't loved yet, inviting you home. We've all been taught to highlight our strengths, to showcase our best selves, and to hide anything that feels bad or unacceptable. This is where the shadow begins to form. Inspired by Jungian psychology, the shadow is not some inherently evil part of us, but rather the unconscious aspects of our personality that we deem negative and therefore suppress or deny. It holds our unexpressed emotions, our repressed desires, our perceived flaws, and even our unrealized potentials. Think of it as a hidden room in your inner mansion. It whispers to us through our anxieties, our frustrations, and our deepest insecurities. When we react strongly to someone else, chances are they are mirroring a part of our own unacknowledged shadow. The invitation of the shadow is not to condemn it, but to illuminate it, to integrate it, and ultimately to embrace it. Our shadow contains unacknowledged aspects of ourselves waiting for acceptance. Why do some comments cut deeper than others? Because they touch an unhealed wound you carry. Have you ever noticed how certain words, certain situations, or even certain tones of voice can instantly send you into a spiral of anger, fear, or sadness? These are your emotional triggers, and they are incredibly powerful. They can derail conversations, damage relationships, and leave us feeling completely out of control. But what exactly is a trigger? It's not the external event itself, but rather a deeply ingrained response to an unhealed wound from your past. Imagine your emotional self as a garden. A trigger is like stepping on a fragile, still healing sprout. The pain isn't from the step itself, but from the raw vulnerability of the sprout. These wounds often stem from childhood experiences, from moments where we felt unheard, unloved, or unsafe. Until we identify and address these underlying wounds, we will continue to react from a place of pain rather than conscious choice. Understanding your triggers is the first step toward reclaiming your emotional freedom. Emotional triggers point to unhealed wounds requiring our attention. They will leave the moment you choose yourself, because your growth exposes their comfort. This is one of the hardest truths to swallow, especially when we've built our lives around pleasing others. Our relationships, whether romantic, familial, or platonic, are often profound mirrors. They reflect back to us not just who we are, but also our unaddressed patterns, our deepest insecurities, and our hidden needs. When you begin the journey of choosing yourself, of prioritizing your own well-being, setting boundaries, and speaking your truth, you disrupt the established equilibrium. For those who have benefited from your self-abandonment, your transformation can feel threatening. They may have become comfortable with a version of you that constantly seeks their approval or puts their needs first. When you shift this dynamic, some people will naturally fall away. This isn't a sign of your failure, but a testament to your growth. It's a painful but necessary sifting process, allowing space for relationships that honor your authentic self to emerge. Choosing yourself may shift relationships, revealing who truly supports your authenticity. You weren't abandoned. You were being shown your own wound through the eyes of the child within. Deep within each of us resides an inner child, a part of our psyche that holds the memories, emotions, and experiences of our early years. This inner child is not just a metaphor. It's an active part of our emotional landscape. When we feel overwhelmed, insecure, or deeply hurt, it's often the voice of this inner child crying out for attention and comfort. The feeling of abandonment, for instance, isn't always about a physical leaving. It can be an echo of moments in childhood where we felt unseen, unheard, or unloved. When someone abandons us in adulthood, it can trigger that original wound, making us feel the same primal fear and pain we experienced as children. Healing the inner child isn't about blaming our past or our parents. It's about acknowledging those early experiences and offering ourselves the compassion, understanding, and love that perhaps we didn't receive then. It's about becoming the nurturing parent to our own vulnerable self. Our inner child holds unhealed wounds that manifest as adult emotional pain. The heaviest burden you carry isn't yours. It's the weight of everyone else's expectations. From the moment we're born, we are bombarded with expectations. Our parents have dreams for us. Society dictates certain paths. And even our friends and partners hold unspoken desires for who we should be. We internalize these expectations, often without realizing it, and begin to live a life that is not truly our own. We chase careers we don't love, maintain appearances we don't believe in, and suppress desires that don't fit the mold. This isn't just about external pressure. It's about the internal pressure we put on ourselves to live up to these projected images. The weight of these unfulfilled expectations can be crushing, leading to anxiety, resentment, and a profound sense of not being good enough. Choosing yourself means shedding this immense burden. It means identifying which expectations truly resonate with your soul, and which are simply inherited baggage. It's a courageous act of defiance against the unspoken rules that have governed your life. Releasing external expectations is crucial for uncovering your authentic self. You can't control what happens to you, but you always control how you respond. This is your power. We live in a world that constantly seeks to assert control. We strive to control our circumstances, our relationships, and even our own emotions. But true power doesn't lie in this illusion of external control. In fact, clinging to it often leads to greater frustration and suffering. Life is inherently unpredictable. Things will go wrong, people will disappoint us, and circumstances will shift in ways we never anticipated. The real power, the ultimate freedom, lies in recognizing that while you cannot always control what happens to you, you always have agency over how you respond. This is where self-awareness becomes paramount. It's the space between stimulus and reaction, the pause that allows you to choose a conscious, aligned response, rather than an unconscious, reactive one. This isn't about suppressing emotions. It's about acknowledging them, processing them, and then choosing your next step from a place of inner strength, not external compulsion. Our true power lies in our conscious response to life's challenges. You don't earn self-worth. You recognize it, like remembering a forgotten truth. For so long, we've been conditioned to believe that self-worth is something that must be earned. We tie it to achievements, external validation, material possessions, or even the approval of others. We think, if I get that promotion, then I'll be worthy. Or, if they love me, then I'll be enough. This is a fundamental misunderstanding of self-worth. Self-worth isn't a commodity you acquire. It's an inherent truth of your being. It's the knowing, deep in your bones, that you are valuable simply because you exist. It's like the sun needing no permission to shine, or a flower needing no external validation to bloom. The work of self-worth isn't about proving anything. It's about removing the layers of conditioning, the limiting beliefs, and the societal narratives that have obscured this fundamental truth. It's about remembering who you truly are beneath all the noise and reclaiming your birthright of inherent value. Self-worth is an inherent truth, not an achievement to be earned. Why do you keep telling the same sad story? Because there's a comfort in what's familiar, even pain. It's a difficult truth to face, but sometimes we become unconsciously addicted to our own suffering. Not because we enjoy the pain, but because the patterns of misery are familiar. They offer a twisted sense of security, a predictable narrative we can cling to. We replay old hurts, rehearse past grievances, and cling to limiting beliefs because, in a strange way, they define us. This isn't a conscious choice. It's a deeply ingrained habit, a well-worn groove in our psyche. We might even find ourselves subconsciously seeking out situations that validate our pain narrative, perpetuating a cycle of self-sabotage. Breaking free from this addiction requires immense courage and a willingness to step into the unknown. It means consciously choosing to rewrite your story, even when the old one feels more comfortable. It means recognizing that holding on to your pain is holding on to a ghost, and true liberation lies in letting it go. Releasing familiar pain narratives is essential for true emotional liberation. Your body is always speaking, even when your mind is silent. Are you listening? We often live predominantly in our heads, caught in a whirlwind of thoughts, worries, and plans. But our bodies are powerful communicators, constantly sending us signals, if only we learn to listen. Stress often manifests as tension in the shoulders, anxiety as a knot in the stomach, and unresolved grief as a heavy ache in the chest. These aren't just physical symptoms. They are the language of our subconscious, the whispers of our unaddressed emotions. When we ignore these signals, our bodies often escalate their communication, leading to chronic pain, illness, or fatigue. Paying attention to your body means more than just physical health. It's a vital pathway to self-awareness. It's about tuning into the subtle sensations, acknowledging the discomfort, and understanding what your body is trying to tell you. Your body holds wisdom that your conscious mind might not yet grasp, and honoring it is a profound act of self-care. Our bodies communicate unaddressed emotions. Listening is a key to self-awareness. Growth doesn't happen in comfort. It happens in the fertile ground of discomfort. Discomfort is not a sign that something is wrong. It's a signal that something new is trying to emerge. It's the fertile ground where old patterns break down and new possibilities are born. Embracing discomfort rather than resisting it is a radical act of self-trust. It's choosing to lean into the edge, to explore the unknown, and to trust that on the other side of the unease lies greater strength, clarity, and freedom. Discomfort is a catalyst for growth and a signal of new possibilities. The deepest fear isn't of failure. It's of truly being seen and still being loved. Many of us believe our deepest fear is failure, rejection, or not being good enough. But often, beneath these fears lies an even more profound one, the fear of truly being seen. To be seen means to be vulnerable. To expose our authentic selves including our perceived flaws, our insecurities, and the parts of us we've carefully hidden away. There's a primal terror that if we reveal our true selves, we will be judged, criticized, or even abandoned. We imagine that love is conditional, something we must earn by presenting a perfect facade. Yet, true connection, genuine intimacy, can only exist when we dare to be seen in our entirety. The paradox is that the very vulnerability we fear is the gateway to authentic love and acceptance. The greatest act of courage is not to conquer the world, but to allow yourself to be seen, imperfections and all, and trust that true love will meet you there. True connection requires the courage to be fully seen, flaws and all. Your pain isn't just yours. It's an echo of the unresolved stories of those who came before you. We often think of our individual experiences as entirely separate, but we are deeply connected to a larger tapestry, our family system, our ancestral lineage. Carl Jung spoke of the collective unconscious, a reservoir of experiences and patterns inherited across generations. Our own struggles, our fears, our patterns of relating to the world can often be echoes of unresolved issues from our ancestors. Perhaps a grandparent experienced profound loss, and you carry an unconscious fear of abandonment. Or a family line was marked by scarcity, and you struggle with an inexplicable anxiety around money. This isn't about blaming. It's about understanding. By becoming aware of these inherited patterns, we begin to break the cycle. We can bring conscious awareness to what has been unconscious, and in doing so, we not only heal ourselves, but also contribute to the healing of our entire lineage. You are not just living your story. You are part of a much larger narrative. Our personal struggles can reflect inherited ancestral patterns, offering a path to deeper healing. Your no to others is your yes to yourself. It's the boundary that defines your sacred space. For many of us, especially those who are people pleasers, saying no can feel incredibly difficult, even selfish. We fear disappointing others, creating conflict, or being seen as uncooperative. But the inability to say no is a direct pathway to exhaustion, resentment, and a profound loss of self. Every time you say yes when you truly mean no, you chip away at your own energy, your own authenticity, and your own boundaries. Saying no is not an act of rejection. It's an act of self-preservation and self-respect. It's about recognizing your limits, honoring your needs, and protecting your precious time and energy. It's a declaration of your value. When you learn to say no with conviction, you create a sacred space around yourself, a sanctuary where your true self can thrive. This boundary setting is not about pushing people away, but about inviting them to respect your authentic self. Saying no to others is an essential act of self-preservation and boundary setting. Holding on to what hurts is like grasping hot coals. The pain is not from the coal, but from your grip. We often cling to things that no longer serve us. Old resentments, past hurts, limiting beliefs, even relationships that have run their course. We believe that by holding on, we are somehow protecting ourselves, or perhaps we fear the emptiness that might be left behind. But holding on to what hurts only perpetuates our suffering. It's like carrying a heavy backpack filled with bricks. The burden is ours, and the liberation comes from releasing it. Letting go is not about forgetting or denying the past. It's about releasing the emotional grip it has on you. It's an active process of surrender, of trusting that something better, something more aligned, will fill the space. This requires immense courage, as it means stepping into the unknown and facing the fear of emptiness. But only by releasing the old can you create space for the new to enter your life. True freedom comes from consciously releasing what no longer serves us. Whose voice is truly speaking when you tell yourself you're not good enough? It's often not yours. We all have an inner critic, that relentless voice that points out our flaws, undermines our confidence, and whispers messages of inadequacy. It tells us we're not smart enough, pretty enough, successful enough, or worthy enough. But where does this voice come from? It's rarely our own authentic self. More often, it's an internalized echo of past criticisms, societal judgments, or the voices of authority figures from our childhood. This inner critic believes it's protecting us by pointing out potential dangers, but in reality, it's keeping us small and stuck. The key is not to silence this voice entirely, but to recognize it for what it is, a collection of old programs running in the background. By observing it without judgment, by questioning its validity, and by offering ourselves compassion, we begin to disarm its power. When you choose yourself, you choose to override this critical programming with a voice of self-compassion and acceptance. The inner critic's voice is often an echo of past judgments, not your authentic truth. Your deepest wisdom doesn't shout. It whispers in the stillness you rarely allow. In our fast-paced, constantly connected world, stillness often feels like a luxury we can't afford. We are conditioned to be constantly doing, striving, and achieving, but it is in the moments of sacred pause, in the quiet spaces between the noise, that our deepest wisdom, our intuition, and our authentic self can finally emerge. This pause isn't about doing nothing. It's about intentionally creating space for reflection, for introspection, and for listening to the quiet whispers of your soul. It could be a few minutes of meditation, a walk in nature, or simply sitting in silence with a cup of tea. When we constantly fill every moment with external stimuli, we drown out the internal guidance system that is always trying to lead us towards our highest good. Choosing yourself means honoring the need for stillness, recognizing that sometimes the most productive thing you can do is simply to be. Cultivating stillness allows us to access our inner wisdom and intuition. Pain is not a punishment. It's raw material for your greatest transformation, if you choose to use it. We are taught to avoid pain at all costs, to numb it, distract from it, or push it away. But pain, in its truest sense, is a powerful messenger. It's an alarm bell, signaling that something within us needs attention, healing, or change. When we suppress pain, it doesn't disappear. It simply goes underground, manifesting in other ways, often as anxiety, depression, or physical ailments. The journey of self-transformation isn't about avoiding pain. but about learning the alchemy of it. It's about facing it directly, allowing ourselves to feel it fully, and then asking, what is this pain trying to teach me? What insight does it hold? What transformation is it inviting? By consciously engaging with our pain, rather than resisting it, we transform it from a source of suffering into a catalyst for profound growth. It becomes the very fuel for our deepest healing. Pain, when faced consciously, can be a powerful catalyst for profound transformation. You wouldn't speak to your best friend the way you speak to yourself. Why do you deny yourself that same kindness? We are often our own harshest critics, holding ourselves to impossibly high standards and berating ourselves for every perceived mistake. We extend kindness and understanding to others, but deny it to ourselves. This lack of self-compassion is a major barrier to choosing yourself. It keeps us stuck in cycles of self-doubt and self-rejection. Self-compassion isn't about self-pity or letting yourself off the hook. It's about treating yourself with the same warmth, understanding, and acceptance you would offer a loved one. It's recognizing that being human means making mistakes, experiencing struggles, and having imperfections. When you stumble, self-compassion is the gentle hand that picks you up, rather than the harsh voice that kicks you when you're down. It's the foundation upon which true self-love is built, allowing you to heal and move forward with greater resilience. Self-compassion, not harsh self-criticism, is essential for healing and growth. You've worn so many masks, you forgot what your true face looks like. It's time to remember. From a young age, we learn to present different versions of ourselves to the world. We put on masks to fit in, to gain approval, to protect ourselves from perceived threats. We might have a work mask, a social mask, or even a family mask. While these masks serve a purpose, over time, we can become so accustomed to wearing them that we lose touch with our authentic self, the person beneath all the layers of pretense. This false self can feel safe, but it also creates a deep sense of disconnect, a feeling that no one truly knows or understands us. The journey of choosing yourself involves peeling back these layers, bravely shedding the masks, and remembering who you truly are, independent of external roles or expectations. It's a process of rediscovery, often uncomfortable, but ultimately liberating. Shedding the false self and its masks reveals your authentic identity. Life's greatest gifts often arrive wrapped in the chaos of uncertainty. Are you brave enough to unwrap them? Our minds crave certainty. We want to know what's coming, to have a plan, to feel secure. But life is inherently uncertain. Change is constant, and the unpredictable is often just around the corner. When we resist uncertainty, we create immense anxiety and suffering. We cling to what's familiar, even if it's no longer serving us, simply because the unknown feels too threatening. However, some of life's most profound breakthroughs and beautiful opportunities arise precisely out of moments of uncertainty. It's in the void of not knowing that new possibilities can emerge. Embracing uncertainty isn't about being reckless. It's about cultivating a deep trust in yourself and in the unfolding of life. It's about recognizing that you have the inner resources to navigate whatever comes your way, even if you can't see the path ahead. Embracing uncertainty allows for the emergence of new possibilities and growth. The pursuit of perfection is a trap. It keeps you forever chasing a mirage, never truly arriving. In a world that constantly bombards us with images of flawlessness, it's easy to fall into the trap of believing we must be perfect to be worthy, to be loved, or to be successful. We strive for an unattainable ideal, endlessly editing ourselves, our lives, and our experiences. This pursuit of perfection is an exhausting and self-defeating cycle. It creates a constant state of inadequacy, as true perfection is an illusion. It prevents us from taking risks, from embracing vulnerability, and from truly living. It's often rooted in a deep fear of judgment or rejection. Choosing yourself means dismantling this illusion. It means recognizing that your imperfections are not flaws to be hidden, but unique aspects that contribute to your authentic beauty and humanity. It's about finding freedom in your beautiful imperfection and understanding that true worth lies not in being flawless, but in being fully and authentically yourself. Releasing the pursuit of perfection frees you to embrace your authentic self. Your dreams aren't random. They're encrypted messages from your soul, guiding you home. Long before modern psychology, ancient cultures understood the profound significance of dreams. Carl Jung extensively explored dreams as a direct window into the unconscious mind, a rich source of symbolic wisdom and guidance. Our dreams are not just random neurological firings. They are often encrypted messages from our soul, speaking to us in a language of symbols, archetypes, and emotions. They can reveal hidden truths, highlight unresolved conflicts, offer solutions to waking life problems, and guide us towards greater self-awareness. Ignoring your dreams is like ignoring a letter from your deepest self. Learning to pay attention to your dreams, to record them, and to reflect on their symbolic meaning is a powerful practice in self-discovery. It's an invitation to engage in a continuous dialogue with your unconscious, unlocking insights that can profoundly shape your waking life. Dreams offer symbolic insights from our unconscious, guiding self-awareness. Forgiveness isn't for them. It's a key you hold to unlock your own prison. When we hold on to resentment, anger, or bitterness towards others, or even towards ourselves, we are the ones who suffer most. Forgiveness is often misunderstood as condoning hurtful behavior or forgetting a past injustice. But true forgiveness is none of those things. It is a profound act of self-liberation. It's about releasing the emotional charge, the energetic ties that bind you to the past hurt. It's acknowledging the pain, but choosing not to let it define your present or future. Forgiveness is not about letting the other person off the hook. It's about taking yourself off the hook of endless suffering. It requires immense courage and a willingness to feel the discomfort of releasing old wounds. It's the ultimate act of choosing your own peace over the lingering pain of the past. Forgiveness is a self-liberating act, releasing you from past pain. Why do you keep repeating the same patterns? Because your unconscious believes they're keeping you safe. Have you ever found yourself in a familiar situation, repeating the same mistakes, or falling into the same destructive patterns, despite knowing better? This isn't a sign of weakness. It's often a manifestation of unconscious self-sabotage. Our unconscious mind, in its attempt to protect us from perceived threats or past pain, can create patterns that, while seemingly detrimental, feel safe and familiar. For example, if you were hurt in a past relationship, your unconscious might subtly push away new, healthy connections to avoid potential pain. Breaking the cycle of self-sabotage requires bringing these unconscious patterns into conscious awareness. It's about understanding the hidden fears and beliefs that drive these behaviors, and then consciously choosing new, more empowering responses. It's a process of unraveling old scripts and rewriting your own narrative. Self-sabotage stems from unconscious protective patterns that need conscious unraveling. The most powerful thing you can be is yourself. Everything else is a performance. In a world that often demands conformity, true authenticity is a radical act of courage. It means aligning your inner truth with your outer expression, speaking your mind, and living in accordance with your values, even when it's unpopular or challenging. Authenticity is not about being perfect. It's about being real. It's about embracing your quirks, your vulnerabilities, and your unique perspective. When you are authentic, you radiate a different kind of energy, one of integrity, clarity, and genuine connection. People are drawn to authenticity because it allows them to feel safe enough to be authentic themselves. The performance of a false self is exhausting and ultimately unsustainable. Choosing yourself means choosing to shed the masks, to reclaim your true voice, and to stand confidently in the power of who you truly are. Authenticity is a courageous act of aligning your inner truth with your outer expression. Comparison is the thief of joy. It's also a mirror reflecting your own unacknowledged gifts. In the age of social media, comparison has become an epidemic. We endlessly scroll through curated lives, accomplishments, and images of perfection, and often come away feeling inadequate, envious, or simply not enough. Comparison is a potent thief of joy because it pulls us out of our own unique journey and into an endless, unwinnable race. It tricks us into believing that someone else's highlight reel is their entire reality, while simultaneously blinding us to our own strengths, progress, and inherent worth. From a Jungian perspective, the parts of others we envy or are drawn to can sometimes reflect aspects of ourselves that we haven't yet recognized or developed. Choosing thyself means disengaging from the comparison game. It means turning thy focus inward, celebrating thy own path, and recognizing that thy unique gifts are precisely what the world needs, without needing to measure up to anyone else. Comparison hinders joy and often reflects our own unrecognized inner potential. Sometimes, the greatest conversation thou canst have is with thyself in the quiet of thy own being. In a world that constantly encourages external connection and distraction, solitude is often viewed with trepidation as something to be avoided. But solitude is not loneliness. It is a sacred space for self-reflection, introspection, and deep personal connection. It's in the quiet moments alone that we can truly hear our own thoughts, process our emotions, and reconnect with our inner guidance. Without moments of solitude, we risk becoming lost in the noise of the external world, losing touch with our own desires and needs. Choosing yourself means consciously carving out time for solitude, treating it not as a punishment, but as an essential practice for your well-being. It's an opportunity to recharge, to reflect, and to cultivate a deeper relationship with the most important person in your life, yourself. Solitude is essential for self-reflection and deeper connection with your inner self. You always have a choice, even when it feels like you don't. This is your ultimate power. Life can sometimes feel like a series of events happening to us, leaving us feeling powerless and at the mercy of circumstances. We might believe we have no choice but to react, to suffer, or to conform. But the profound truth is, you always have a choice. Even in the most challenging situations, you retain the power to choose your attitude, your perspective, and your response. This isn't about denying the difficulty of a situation, but about reclaiming your agency within it. This power of choice is your ultimate freedom. It's the ability to consciously decide how you will show up in the world, what you will focus on, and what meaning you will assign to your experiences. Choosing yourself means exercising this power deliberately, stepping out of victimhood, and consciously creating your reality, one choice at a time. Recognizing and exercising your power of choice is fundamental to personal agency. Your striving for perfection is often a shield hiding a deeper fear. The fear of not being enough. While a desire for excellence can be motivating, perfectionism is a different beast entirely. It's often a rigid, fear-driven compulsion to be flawless, stemming from a deep-seated belief that anything less than perfect is unacceptable or unworthy of love. The shadow side of perfectionism is that it paralyzes us, keeping us from taking action, from learning, and from truly living. It fosters a constant sense of inadequacy, as perfection is an unattainable standard. This relentless striving is often a defense mechanism, a way to avoid the uncomfortable feeling of not being enough. Choosing yourself means releasing the grip of perfectionism. It means recognizing that good enough is truly enough, that mistakes are valuable learning opportunities, and that your inherent worth is not contingent on flawless execution. It's about embracing your humanity and finding freedom in imperfection. Perfectionism often masks a fear of inadequacy. Embrace good enough for liberation. Are you loyal to your past or to your potential? One keeps you stuck, the other sets you free. We often feel a deep sense of loyalty to our family, our traditions, our past identities, even to old narratives of who we are. While loyalty can be a beautiful quality, it can also become a heavy burden when it prevents us from evolving and choosing our authentic path. We might unconsciously hold on to outdated beliefs or patterns of behavior out of a sense of duty or fear of betraying our roots. This burden of loyalty can keep us stuck in cycles that no longer serve our highest good. Choosing yourself means discerning between genuine loyalty that empowers you and restrictive loyalty that keeps you small. It means having the courage to forge your own path, even if it means diverging from what's expected or familiar. True loyalty, in its highest form, is to your own growth and unfolding potential. Discern between loyalty to the past and loyalty to your potential for true freedom. Your gut feeling isn't random. It's your soul's quiet compass, always pointing you home. In a world filled with information overload and external advice, we often lose touch with our own inner compass, intuition. This isn't about logic or reason. It's a deeper knowing, a gut feeling, a subtle whisper that guides us toward what is aligned with our highest good. We've been conditioned to prioritize external data and rational thought. Every yes to your soul is a no to the noise. It's how you reclaim your sacred energy. Just as learning to say no is crucial, so too is learning to say a clear, intentional yes to what truly nourishes and aligns with your soul. We often say yes out of obligation, fear of missing out, or a desire to please, scattering our energy across countless commitments that don't truly serve us. These unconscious yeses deplete our vital life force, leaving us sealing, drained, and unfulfilled. A sacred yes is different. It's a conscious, deliberate choice to engage with activities, relationships, and experiences that light you up, energize you, and resonate with your deepest values. It's an act of radical self-care and self-prioritization. Choosing thyself means becoming a discerning gatekeeper of thy energy, reserving thy most powerful yeses for what truly matters to thy soul's unfolding. Consciously saying yes to soul-aligned activities reclaims your energy. There is no quick fix for a lifetime of unexamined truths. The journey is the healing. In our fast-paced society, we are constantly bombarded with promises of quick fixes, instant solutions, and overnight transformations. We want to bypass the discomfort, the effort, and the messy process of true healing and growth. But when it comes to personal transformation and self-awareness, there are no shortcuts. A lifetime of accumulated experiences, conditioning, and unexamined truths cannot be undone with a single technique or a magical pill. The myth of the quick fix often leads to disappointment and a feeling of failure when real, lasting change doesn't happen instantly. Choosing thyself means embracing the journey itself as the healing. It means committing to the ongoing process of introspection, self-compassion, and incremental growth. It's a marathon, not a sprint, and every step, no matter how small, contributes to your profound unfolding. And for fresh perspectives, choosing yourself means developing a flexible mindset, letting go of rigid attachments, and trusting in your capacity to adapt and thrive amidst the ever-shifting currents of life. Embracing impermanence frees us from resistance and allows for new beginnings. Your deepest wounds are not your weakness. They are the portals to your greatest strength and empathy. We often view our wounds, emotional, psychological, or even physical, as something to be hidden, overcome, or simply endured. We see them as flaws, as sources of shame, or as reasons for our suffering. But from a spiritual and psychological perspective, your deepest wounds are not your weaknesses. They are your sacred portals. They are the very places through which profound empathy, wisdom, and strength can emerge. Think of a kintsugi bowl, broken and repaired with gold. The cracks are not hidden, but highlighted, making the bowl even more beautiful and resilient. When you heal them with compassion, they transform into sources of profound understanding for yourself and others. Choosing yourself means honoring these sacred wounds, recognizing their transformative power, and allowing them to be the wellspring of your unique gifts. Deep wounds, when healed, become sources of strength and empathy. The path of ease isn't always the path of growth. Sometimes, the struggle holds the key. We are often drawn to the path of least resistance, seeking comfort and avoiding anything that feels challenging or difficult. While efficiency is valuable, consistently choosing the easiest option can sometimes mean avoiding necessary growth and deeper learning. True development often happens when we are stretched, when we encounter obstacles that force us to innovate, to adapt, and to draw upon inner resources we didn't know we possessed. This isn't to say we should seek out suffering, but rather to recognize that sometimes choosing yourself means cultivating the courage to embrace silence, to resist the urge to fill every conversational gap, and to recognize that not every thought needs to be spoken. Sometimes the most profound communication happens in the stillness, and the wisest response is simply to listen. Intentional silence fosters deeper listening and more conscious responses. You are worthy of receiving. Releasing the need to constantly give opens you to life's abundance. Many of us are conditioned to be constant givers. We believe our worth is tied to how much we can do for others, how much we can provide, or how helpful we can be. While generosity is a beautiful quality, an imbalance can lead to exhaustion, resentment, and a feeling of being constantly drained. We might even subconsciously block ourselves from receiving, feeling unworthy or uncomfortable with accepting help, compliments, or gifts. But life is a flow of giving and receiving. When we consistently only give, we disrupt this natural balance. The art of receiving is about opening yourself to the abundance that life and others want to offer you. It's an act of self-worth, a declaration that you are deserving of support, love, and grace. Choosing yourself means releasing the need to constantly prove your worth through giving, and to allow the natural flow of your emotional landscape. Releasing these weights is a profound act of self-liberation. Unexpressed emotions burden the soul. Allowing them to be felt is liberating. Your uniqueness is not a flaw, it's your blueprint for impact. Dare to embody it fully. From a young age, we are often encouraged to fit in, to conform to group norms, and to suppress anything that makes us seem too different. We fear standing out, being judged, or being rejected for our individuality. But your uniqueness is not a flaw. It's your divine blueprint, your signature contribution to the world. It's what makes you uniquely you. And it's precisely where your greatest power and impact lie. Trying to be like everyone else is an exhausting and ultimately futile endeavor. Choosing yourself means embracing your eccentricities, your unconventional ideas, your unique talents, and your distinct perspective. It means having the courage to step out of the shadows of conformity and dare to embody your authentic self fully, shining your light brightly for the world to see. Embrace your unique differences. They are your blueprint for personal impact. You seek guidance outside, but your wisest teacher resides within. Are you listening? We often look to external sources for guidance, mentors, gurus, experts, or even social trends. While external wisdom can be valuable, it's crucial to remember that your most profound and trustworthy guide resides within you, your inner mentor. This isn't a mystical entity. It's your deeper knowing, your accumulated wisdom, your intuition, and your authentic self, all working in concert. We often dismiss this inner voice, believing we need choosing yourself means cultivating this relationship with your inner wisdom, trusting your own judgment, and knowing that you possess the inner resources to navigate your path. Your deepest wisdom and guidance reside within. Trust your inner mentor. Failure isn't the end. It's feedback, a guidepost showing you where to grow next. In our success-driven culture, failure is often seen as something to be avoided at all costs, a sign of inadequacy or weakness. We fear making mistakes, and this fear can paralyze us, preventing us from taking risks, trying new things, or stepping outside our comfort zones. But true wisdom recognizes that failure is not the opposite of success. It's an integral part of the learning process. It's feedback, an invaluable teacher, showing us what doesn't work, what needs adjusting, and where our growth opportunities lie. Every inventor, artist, and innovator knows that failure is not an endpoint, but a necessary stepping stone. Choosing thyself means reframing thy relationship with failure. It means embracing it as a valuable source of information, learning from thy missteps and using them as fuel for thy evolution, rather than as reasons to give up. Failure is valuable feedback for growth, not an endpoint. Thou weren't born to simply exist. Thou were born with a unique song to sing, a purpose to live. Beyond the daily grind, beyond societal expectations, lies a deeper longing within each of us, the desire to understand our soul's purpose. This isn't necessarily a grand, world-changing mission, though it can be. It's more often about living in alignment with your deepest values, expressing your unique gifts, and contributing to the world in a way that feels authentic and meaningful to you. Many people spend their lives feeling adrift, searching for purpose externally, when the truth is, it's already woven into the fabric of their being. It's about remembering why you are here, what truly lights you up, and what unique imprint you are meant to leave. Choosing yourself means daring to listen to that quiet call, to explore what brings you genuine joy and meaning, and to bravely step onto the path that feels uniquely yours. Your unique soul's purpose is already within you, waiting to be lived. You are not fixed. You are a masterpiece in progress, constantly creating yourself anew. One of the most empowering truths is that you are not a finished product, nor are you defined solely by your past. You are a dynamic, evolving being, constantly engaged in the act of self-creation. Every thought you think, every choice you make, every action you take contributes to the person you are becoming. This means you have the power to consciously shape your future, to rewrite old narratives, and to shed identities that no longer serve you. It's a continuous process of becoming, of shedding the old and embracing the new. Choosing yourself means stepping into this creative power fully. It means recognizing that you are the artist of your own life, with the ability to redefine yourself, to grow, and to continually align with your highest vision for who you are meant to be. You are actively creating yourself. Choose consciously who you are becoming. You don't become whole by eliminating parts of yourself. You become whole by embracing them all. The journey of self-transformation isn't about becoming someone entirely new or about cutting off the bad parts of yourself. It's about integration, about bringing all the fragmented pieces of yourself back together, acknowledging them and weaving them into a cohesive, whole being. This includes your light and your shadow, your strengths and your vulnerabilities, your past and your future. It's about recognizing that every experience, every emotion, every aspect of your being has contributed to who you are today. The goal isn't to be perfect, but to be whole. Choosing yourself means embracing this ongoing process of integration, finding harmony within your complexities, and understanding that your wholeness comes not from being flawless, but from the courageous act of loving and accepting all of yourself exactly as you are. Wholeness comes from integrating all aspects of yourself, not eliminating them. The truth about choosing yourself isn't a destination. It's the sacred, lifelong journey of becoming who you were always meant to be. We've explored 49 chapters of profound introspection, unearthing hidden truths, confronting shadows, and embracing the messy, beautiful process of self-transformation. The ultimate truth about choosing yourself is this: it's not a one-time decision, a final destination, or a mount. It is the sacred, ongoing, lifelong journey of becoming. It's the daily commitment to listen to your inner whispers, to honor your authentic needs, to set courageous boundaries, and to walk a path aligned with your deepest truth. This journey will be filled with moments of clarity and confusion, joy and pain, triumphs and setbacks. There will be times you falter, times you question, and times you feel lost. But each step, each breath, each conscious choice to turn inward and embrace who you are is an act of profound self-love. It's recognizing that the love you seek, the peace you crave, and the freedom you desire have always resided within you. So continue to seek, to question, to feel, and to grow. The greatest love story you will ever live is the one with yourself. May you always choose you. The deepest love, freedom, and purpose are found within the lifelong journey of choosing yourself.